If you look at a map of our planet, the bottom is just white, a blank space. For centuries, we have been told that Antarctica is a frozen wasteland, a dead, static block of ice at the end of the world. But that is a lie. The ice isn't just sitting there, it is hiding something. Modern radar and satellite scans have stripped away that white surface to reveal that Antarctica is not a continent of ice. It is a continent of secrets. Buried under 5 kilometers of frozen water, there is a hidden world that shouldn't exist. We have found rivers that flow uphill, lakes the size of Manhattan sealed off for millions of years, and active volcanoes melting the ice from below. We have found ecosystems that survive in total darkness, ancient forests, and strange bleeding waterfalls that could hold the key to life on other planets. But the most terrifying discovery isn't biological or geological. It's what global superpowers are doing right now to prepare for the ice to melt. Because beneath that ice lies a treasure trove worth trillions, and a treaty that is the only thing stopping a global conflict expires soon. This is the story of what is actually down there, and why the empty continent is about to become the most important place on Earth. To truly understand the scale of what is hidden, you have to peel back the layers. If you could magically lift the ice sheet off the continent today, you wouldn't find a flat, scarred plain. You would find a landscape that rivals the most dramatic scenery in Europe or North America. Hidden completely from view in the center of the continent are the Gamburtsev Mountains. This is a mountain range the size of the European Alps, with peaks rising 3,000 meters into the crust. They have deep valleys, jagged peaks, and massive cliffs, yet not a single human eye has ever seen them directly. They are buried under 600 meters of ice. These ghost mountains are the anchor point for the ice sheet, the place where the first glaciers formed 30 million years ago. But they are just the static backdrop for a much more dynamic moving system. The real anomaly isn't the rock, it is the water. We are taught that water freezes at 0 degrees, so logically, the base of the ice sheet should be solid. But Antarctica defies logic. The sheer weight of the ice, millions of billions of tons pressing down, creates such immense pressure at the bottom that the freezing point of water changes. The ice at the base melts, creating a layer of liquid water between the glacier and the bedrock. This creates a hidden hydrological system that spans the entire continent. We have mapped hundreds of subglacial lakes and rivers connecting them, but gravity doesn't work the same way down there. Because the weight of the ice above varies, the pressure gradients can force water to flow uphill, pushing massive volumes of liquid over mountain ridges in the dark. This isn't a trickle, it is a torrent. These rivers lubricate the bedrock, turning the ground into a slip and slide. This lubrication is the engine that drives the glaciers, accelerating their slide into the ocean. And sometimes, this pressurized, hidden world breaches the surface with shocking violence. In the McMurdo dry valleys, explorers discovered a feature that looked like a crime scene. A glacier was weeping a dark, blood-red liquid. They called it blood falls. For decades, it was a mystery. Now we know that this is a time capsule leaking into the present. It is ancient ocean water, trapped under the glacier for over 1 million years. It is so rich in iron that the moment it hits the air, it oxidizes and rusts, painting the white ice red. The existence of liquid water raised a question that astronomers and biologists were afraid to ask. Is anything alive down there? If you drill 4 kilometers down into the pitch-black waters of Lake Vostok, a subglacial lake the size of Lake Ontario, you enter a world that has been cut off from the Earth's atmosphere for 15 million years. There is no sunlight. The pressure is crushing. The temperature is near freezing, and yet it is teeming with life. Scientists have found thousands of species of single-celled organisms. These bacteria are unlike anything on the surface. They have evolved to run on a completely different energy source. Instead of photosynthesis, they use chemosynthesis, eating minerals from the rock, metabolizing iron and sulfur. This discovery changed everything. If life can survive here, in the most hostile environment on Earth, it implies that life is much more stubborn than we thought. It means that the icy crusts of moons like Europa orbiting Jupiter or Enceladus orbiting Saturn almost certainly have life in their oceans too. Antarctica is our best analog for aliens, but there are places even stranger than the deep lakes. Around the active volcano Mount Erebus, steam vents have carved out massive hollow towers of ice. Inside these ice fumaroles, the heat from the volcano keeps the air humid and warm, sometimes reaching a comfortable 25 degrees Celsius. In these these lightless, warm caverns surrounded by walls of ice, researchers have found traces of DNA that don't match common species. There is a distinct possibility that entirely unknown ecosystems of plants and small animals are living in these volcanic caves, completely isolated from the rest of the planet's evolution. While the biological secrets are fascinating, the ice itself serves a critical function for humanity's survival. It is the world's most accurate history book. As snow falls, it captures the atmosphere of that exact moment. It traps dust, chemicals, and most importantly, tiny bubbles of air. As the snow compacts into ice, those bubbles are sealed forever. By drilling ice cores, cylinders of ice that can be miles long, scientists can travel back in time. We have retrieved continuous records of Earth's climate going back 800,000 years. And recently, broken fragments dating back considerably longer. These cores act as the control group for modern climate science. They show us exactly how carbon dioxide levels correspond to global temperature. They reveal that the speed at which our atmosphere is changing today has no precedent in the frozen record. The ice is not just a victim of climate change. It is the witness that proves it, however. The land beneath the ice is not a passive victim. It is active, and in some places, it is hostile. Antarctica is divided into two realms, the East and the West. East Antarctica is a high, cold fortress that is relatively stable, but West Antarctica is a geological disaster waiting to happen. It sits below sea level, and it is being cooked from the bottom up. Recent surveys have identified a vast volcanic rift system beneath the West Antarctic ice sheet. We are talking about nearly 100 volcanoes, some of them active, hidden under the ice. The geothermal heat rising from these volcanoes creates cavernous pockets of water and softens the ice, making it structurally weak. This is a major reason why the Thwaites Glacier, often called the Doomsday Glacier, is retreating so fast. It's getting hit by warm ocean water from the front and geothermal heat from below. And as the ice melts, the continent is reacting in a way you might not expect. For millions of years, the weight of the ice has pushed the Earth's crust down into the mantle. As that weight vanishes, the land is bouncing back. This process, called isostatic rebound, is causing the continent to rise. While this sounds slow, in geological terms, it is happening at a sprint. This uplift could change the way water flows off the continent, adding another variable to the complex equation of sea level rise. All of this science, the geology, the biology, the hydrology, is converging on a single date, 2048. Currently, the Antarctic Treaty system governs the continent. It is a miracle of diplomacy, setting aside 10% of the Earth solely for peace and science. It explicitly bans mining and military fortifications. But the world is changing. As resources on other continents dwindle, the eyes of global superpowers are turning south. The geological surveys that found the volcanoes and the rivers also found something else: sedimentary basins. These are the geological structures that typically hold oil and gas. Estimates suggest there could be 200 billion barrels of oil down there, along with vast deposits of coal, iron ore, and the rare earth minerals required to build batteries and microchips. The protocol banning mining can be reviewed in 2048, and nations are already positioning themselves. China is building its fifth research station. Russia has been conducting extensive seismic surveys that look suspiciously like oil prospecting. These research stations are dual use. A satellite tracking station that monitors weather can also track missiles. A seismic ship mapping the crust. For science is also mapping it for drill bits. The empty continent is becoming a crowded chessboard. The strategic value of Antarctica isn't just what's in the ground, it's the location. Control over the Antarctic region means control over the Drake Passage, the narrow shipping lane between South America and Antarctica. In a global conflict, this is a vital choke point. We are standing at a crossroads. For the last century, Antarctica has been the one place on Earth where humanity agreed to cooperate. It has been a sanctuary for science and a buffer against our own industrial expansion. But the ice is thinning. The hidden world of rivers, lakes, and resources is becoming more accessible every year. The discoveries we've made, the alien life in the dark, the blood-red waterfalls, the volcanoes, and the climate archives, prove that this is a fragile, interconnected system. Disrupting it doesn't just hurt the penguins, it disrupts the ocean currents that regulate weather in Europe, the US, and Asia. The question is, will we listen to the science that tells us to leave it alone? Or will the allure of the treasures hidden beneath the ice turn the bottom of the world into the next great battleground. The story of Antarctica is just beginning. What happens next depends on whether we view it as a library to be read or a bank vault to be robbed. If you want to understand the forces that are shaping our future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep digging into the stories the planet is trying to tell us. Thanks for watching.